Okay, so a couple things to get out of the way. First, I apologize if the lighting is weird. I am sitting in front of my window, but that wasn't that was like not enough light, so I turned on my overhead light, so the lighting's a little weird. That's probably why. Secondly, I am going to be using like expensive products in this, but like you can use a lot more affordable things too. Like for the palette, I'm going to show you guys that I'm using. Blush Crush by ColourPop is a good option. Nude Mood is a good option, but I wanted to use this because it's easier to fit in my little travel makeup bag for work. But anyway, in today's video, we are going to be doing this look because I wore this on Black Friday. Speaking of, did everybody survive Black Friday? I worked at both jobs on Black Friday. I worked 9 to 3 at Rite Aid and then 4 to 11:30 at Ulta. Did everybody survive though? That's all I want to know. Did everybody survive? But I did this makeup like really quick in the break room. So this is a quick makeup look, too. But it got me so many compliments on my makeup, so I wanted to show you guys this. So the first thing I'm gonna use is MAC Fix Plus, and I'm gonna spray this down as like a primer of sorts. First of all, because my skin is like really dry. Like this is a scab, that's a scab, this is a scab, but like my skin is just so dry right now, and I think it's from the seasons changing, but we're gonna use that as like a first primer. And then I went in with my, where are you? That's not it. That's not it. Where are you? Right here. And then I went in with my Vive Skin Nova primer. And this will just add like a nice glow to the skin as well as help with like hydrating, because it is fairly hydrating as well. And then I just kind of used my fingers to rub it in. I freaking hit my head at Ulta on Black Friday. Like I bent over to grab something and I caught the corner of a metal cabinet and like, mother, that hurt so bad. So if you see me like gingering the spot right here, that's why. It hurts a lot. But you just want to like rub that in, and this kind of adds like a nice glow and a hydration as well. If you have oilier skin, you can still use this primer if you want, but you could probably skip the spray first. And then for foundation, what I did was I used two that I mixed together, and they're both like very glowy type foundations. I used the MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body in the shade W1, and then Clinique Even Better foundation in the shade WN01. So like one of the lightest warm shades. And then what I'm gonna do is, I just did it on the back of my hand. I'm gonna do maybe that much of the MAC. So about a dime, a healthy sized dime amount, and then another dime sized amount of the Clinique, like that. I did not realize that Clinique one was that much darker. And then I just took the tip of my sponge and kind of mixed them together on my palm and just placed the product literally like this. This is how I did it at work because I was, like I said, I was in a hurry. And then I just blended it out. So there's that. I am going to go back in with just the Clinique one to add a little teeny tiny baby bit more coverage on my skin right now. Just gonna dot that on. Sorry about her barking. I think she's barking at Bear. That's Fiona. We're dog sitting her today. She's going home actually. And my poor wheel baby, my cranky ass old man Leo, got blocked. Like, he had bladder stones that were making it so he couldn't pee. So he's had like 2 surgeries 2 days in a row. But today he's getting his catheter removed, which he's going to be excited about. I'm kind of nervous about, like, what if he can't pee again. The next thing I did was I took my concealer. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, which I've almost used up again. And I just did some right there, some right there, maybe a little bit more right there. I did a tiny little dot right there. Just like all the places where I would like additional coverage, but I don't do too much because this is also like my brightening shade of concealer. I don't use a concealer to conceal. I use it to, well, conceal under my eyes, and I use it to conceal under my eyes and then brighten in select areas. There's cat hair. Like that. And then blend. Alright, and then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my powder puff, and then my ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. Look at how much of that I have used. Like, I love this. I just bought 2 more of these as like backups of this because I'm gonna need it. But I'm gonna only powder under my eyes right now and on top of my eyelids, and the why will be pretty important earlier. Well, not only I'm setting where I get oily is basically like where I want, not really get oily because I don't get oily very often. Where I want to stay matte is where I'm currently powdering. So if you don't like having like matte anywhere, maybe skip this step, but I always set my makeup with powder because I need it to last all day. And then, so I've really only set in the center of my face. Hi, Putt-Putt. Come here. Okay. For the palette, today we're going to be using the Pat McGrath Celestial Odyssey Luxe Quad. This is the color story that we're using, but this is why I said you could use ColourPop Nude Mood, ColourPop Blush Crush, like anything that has like a mauve-y tone and then some really sparkly shimmers, you can use that. Okay, so then what I do first, because there's not really a transition shade in that quad, is I'm going to take my Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder. What? We're going to use that bronzer shade as our transition shade. So if you just put a little bit through the crease. This is a Give Me Glow G630 brush, and I really like it because it's a little bit of a tapered blending brush. But yeah, just enough that there's a little bit of definition there. And then you're gonna do the same thing to the other eye. This look is just, it's so easy, it's so quick. I do it in about 15 minutes when I'm not talking and everything. Like if I'm just at work if I'm just getting to Ulta and I have not done my makeup earlier in the day for whatever reason, like if I'm coming right from Rite Aid or something, this is like my go-to makeup look. I've not used like the Pat McGrath quad, but like in general, this look is my go-to look. And then I'm gonna take this shade right here on the same brush. Just get it on there. Make sure you tap off the excess, and then kind of begin putting it in the outer corner and blending it through the crease as well. This is so strange. Just really easy, really simple, and then do the same thing to the other eye. All right, I did do my eyebrows off camera after I was done blending the eyeshadow in. But what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take another, this one is less of a pointy tapered blending brush, but it's still like tapered. And I'm gonna go just tap like a little bit into that matte eyeshadow we're using, just to be able to further blend on top of that color without losing pigment. Just like that. And then what I did was I took, maybe that's a brown, whatever color the shade is, like whatever. Then what I did was I took the darkest shimmer shade in here, this one, and I just used my finger and literally just patted that right on like that. And I did the same thing on this side. And then I took this brush, went back in, and just blended the edges like that. So it's a little bit of drama, but not a lot. Like that. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is, I know we've already set with powder and everything, but the foundation is starting to dry. So I'm going to take my MAC Fix Plus, again, you can use any like fixing spray or finishing spray or setting spray, whatever, and just you want to rehydrate a little bit because we're going to break some makeup rules. The next thing I did was I took my blush brush, right? And I went in with this NARS multiple stick in the shade Orgasm. I do not like the powdered version of this, but I love this cream stick version. and I just literally took it on the brush like that. You've got a good amount of pigment on there. And then just tap it where you want there to be some blushy colors. This does not do a whole lot of color, but it does deposit just a little bit. If you want more, you can go in and get more, but I'm literally just tapping my brush to the stick. That's it. That's all I'm doing. And then just tapping that on. And this also adds to like the luminosity of your skin as well. But it's just such a pretty, easy makeup look. So that's the blush. And then, where's my lid at for this? Good Lord, Shanna. Whatever, I'll just put you up there for right now. And then what I do is I take a brush, like a tapered powder brush, and I'm going to go into my bronzer and just bronze. If it mixes in with the blush, that's fine. And just like that. And then I do a little bit on my forehead, like that. And then I just take the brush and I'm just literally like lightly swirling it in there. Get off, and then I kind of bronzy my nose up like that. And that just adds dimension, it adds color without being too cakey and too much. Okay, and then what I did do on Black Friday, because my bronzer was a little bit messy that day, I just took my puff and grabbed a little bit of powder and just went like that. So kind of helping to cut the, technically it should be cutting the contour, I guess, but like the bronzer. And then I just kind of tap it in, buff it in a little bit. Like that. And then if I didn't like how that looked, I would just take the brush that we used for bronzer without adding any more product. Because I don't want it to be like harsh, but I don't want my bronzer to look sloppy either. And this just adds a little bit of warmth back to the skin. Like that. Excuse me. And then what did I do next? I did mascara next, so I'm gonna do that off camera really quick. And then so I did the mascara. I kind of chipped it right there, but ignore that. And then what I did was I took a flatter brush like that, and I went back into the one eyeshadow in this quad. It's not a shimmer. And I just kind of drug that under the lash line. We're not doing an eyeliner. And then I kind of drag it back onto the outer corner. It's just supposed to be like easy kind of makeup. It adds dimension and everything without it being, it's a very monochromatic look. like that. And then, okay, then for highlight, so I did do highlight, I'm going to take this other NARS, it's another NARS stick in Copacabana. And with this one, I don't take like a powder puff or anything because it's a cream. I'm just gonna take my finger right on the stick, kind of use my fingers to warm up the product, and then I don't know how well you guys are gonna be able to see it in the light because it's not a very good lighting situation, but it just adds just enough, like you can kind of see it on my finger. It's not a super blinding highlight, but when you use your fingers and do it this way, it doesn't pick up any foundation that's underneath. A little bit on my nose, my nosy, and then I'm gonna take a little bit more on my finger and just right on the inner corner like that, and it just adds like a nice tiny little baby dollop of highlight. And then that's kind of how I highlight my Cupid's bow, because we will cover up what's on the lip with lipstick and stuff. So for my lipstick, I took for my lip combo, I used 3 different things. I took the Vive lip liner in Bark. It's like a darker brown, and I outline my lips. If you hear a cat crying, it is my Leo baby, because as I said earlier, he had emergency surgery twice to unblock him, but right now he has a catheter in, and the catheter is keeping him drained, but it also means like he leaks pee. So we don't want that all over our house. Plus, we're trying to get him to recover and everything. So he's sitting in a large dog crate, crying to be let out. But that's the lip liner. And then I'm gonna take MAC I think it's Velvet Teddy. It's like this color. It might be a little bit dark to be Velvet Teddy, but it's gonna be this MAC lipstick. Here's you guys want to zoom in and try and read that. That's the color. I'm just gonna put this on. Like that. And then for gloss, this is Cupcakin from Fenty. It's one of the cream glosses that comes in a holiday set this year. And just put that on over top. Like that. And then we'll do one more spritz of our spray, just like that. And now we're glowy. We look really pretty. But yeah, this was the look I did for Black Friday. And it looks so pretty in person. Like, it's not even translating how nice it looks. Like, in person to online, it looks so much better in person, I swear to you. But anyway, you guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do not forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. I would very much greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, I will see you all in my next one. Bye.